Most dog owners believe they know what their dog does when they leave the house, but that belief is usually based on what they see when they come back, not what actually happens while they're gone. The reality is, your dog isn't just waiting for you. Their brain is going through a complex psychological process shaped by memory, expectation, and emotional attachment. And one of the biggest differences between humans and dogs is this: dogs don't experience time the way we do. They don't think in hours or schedules. Instead, they experience time through changes in their environment. So when you leave, your dog isn't thinking they'll be back in 8 hours. What they're actually processing is uncertainty. Something has changed and they don't know if it's temporary or permanent. One of the most overlooked factors is scent. Your smell doesn't disappear the moment you walk out the door. It fades slowly over time. For your dog, that fading scent acts like a countdown. As your scent weakens, their brain registers increasing distance from you. That's why some dogs don't react immediately, but become more restless later. It's not random behavior, it's their brain responding to the gradual loss of your presence. Another key factor is how dogs map their environment. When you're home, your movement constantly updates their sense of space, walking around, making noise, interacting. When you leave, that entire system suddenly goes quiet. For some dogs, that silence feels unnatural. They start checking rooms, pacing, or repositioning themselves, not because they're bored, but because their brain is trying to understand why the environment has changed. What's even more interesting is that the stress often begins before you even leave. Dogs are incredibly good at recognizing patterns. They don't just notice one action, they learn sequences. Picking up your keys, putting on your shoes, checking your phone, these become signals. Over time, your dog connects those actions to one outcome: you're about to leave. So by the time you reach the door, their body may already be in a stress response, elevated heart rate, increased alertness, and anxiety building before you're even gone. Another important concept is control. Dogs are highly sensitive to whether they can influence what's happening around them. When they can't control your departure or your return, it creates a sense of uncertainty. Some dogs respond by becoming more active, barking, pacing, scratching. Others go in the opposite direction. They become very still and quiet. And this is where many owners misunderstand what's happening. A quiet dog isn't always a calm dog. In some cases, it's a dog that has simply stopped trying to change the situation. Sound also plays a bigger role than most people realize. Dogs hear far more than we do. When you're not home, the environment becomes acoustically different. Small sounds like footsteps outside, distant voices, or hallway noise become more noticeable. For some dogs, this increases alertness and keeps them from fully relaxing, especially in apartments or busy areas. Lighting and temperature can also influence your dog's behavior in subtle ways. As daylight changes or the house becomes quieter and darker, it can reinforce a sense of isolation. These factors don't cause stress on their own, but they can make an already anxious dog feel even more unsettled. One of the most misunderstood behaviors is destruction. Many people assume dogs chew or damage things out of boredom or revenge. In reality, these behaviors often serve a purpose. Chewing and tearing can help regulate stress. It's a coping mechanism. The problem is that in a home environment, the objects available aren't meant to be destroyed, so it becomes an issue for the owner. Another major mistake happens when owners react negatively after coming home. Dogs don't connect your reaction to something they did hours ago. Instead, they associate your reaction with your presence in that moment. Over time, this can create confusion, where both your leaving and your return become stressful events. There's also a deeper biological layer to this. Research has shown that dogs can synchronize their stress levels with their owners over time. That means if you're living in a high-stress environment, your dog may already be carrying that stress before they even leave. So when they're gone, they're not starting from a calm baseline. They're starting from an already heightened state. At the same time, not all dogs react the same way. Some dogs develop resilience because they've learned through experience that you always come back. These dogs tend to relax and spend most of their time resting. Others haven't built that expectation yet, so each departure feels uncertain, and uncertainty is one of the biggest triggers of anxiety. Even in anxious dogs, there are short moments where they seem calm. These are temporary recovery periods, not true relaxation. A small trigger, a sound, a memory, or even a shift in environment can restart the cycle again. That's why behavior can seem inconsistent from day to day. From a psychological perspective, the most effective approach isn't distraction, it's predictability. Dogs don't need constant entertainment as much as they need consistent outcomes. When a dog repeatedly experiences that you leave and always return, their brain begins to adjust. This process takes time because it works at the level of the nervous system, not conscious thinking. At the end of the day, your dog's behavior when you're not home isn't random and it isn't personal. It's the result of how their brain processes absence, attachment, and uncertainty. Whether they bark, sleep, pace, or stay completely still, each behavior reflects an internal attempt to adapt to a situation they don't fully understand. And once you start seeing it that way, you stop asking, "What is my dog doing?" and start asking something much more important, "What is my dog experiencing?"